Greetings, guys. Welcome back to Dine and Dreams. It is your lady Ms.Z. ṣunfúnmiláyọ Apoike. If you would, please make sure that you like and subscribe to this video. If it resonates with you, also comment down below. I love to know which one you chose. This is going to be, I guess, the February special or the Valentine's Day special. I don't know what series I'm going to put this under. You guys know that I don't really do love readings on this channel anymore, and you know, I think I would like to bring them back, but I like to cover other topics just because I know that other readers always cover the topic of love. But I thought that maybe, you know, just maybe you guys may want to hear from my perspective on love as I am now, and with the connection to the ancestors as well too. So this is going to be a real good reading. And I just want to call it out too. Like every time, you know, you type in love or love reading, it's always something extremely toxic. Like, you know, I'm going to talk about that on my Instagram, but there's always some extremely, you know, toxic topic, and like everybody clicks on. I'm like, huh? So, you know, this ain't going to be that. You know, I'm going to give you real information from the ancestors and something that's actually going to help you progress in your relationship, or if you are single. Okay, so let's get into this. This is going to be the blunt truth for relationships and singles. I didn't want to well, I was going to separate the readings, but I'm like, oh, that's going to take too much time. So I'm just going to give you both, you know, those of you who are in relations and those of you who are single together, you know, so you'll hear both messages no matter which pile you choose. We have some interesting things that you can choose from today. Of course, we have the lovely feather. This is the crested crane, one of my favorite birds over in Africa, the motherland. We have this nice shell here, this heart shell, you know, and it spoke to me because it fell out my hand. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put you in a reading. And we have this lovely custom made bag. It's a tarot bag. It can also be used for your sacred tools. I've sold them with my bone sets, but this was custom made by me, and it has a sacred symbol on there, and I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, so you can choose pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And it's gonna be real good, guys. I'm actually really excited this time around. So let's go ahead and get into it for pile number 1. All right, if you chose pile number 1, this is your pile. And I guess I was so excited that I didn't tell you guys. If you want to book a reading, please go to dineanddreams.com, and you should know that all that's down in the description box, you know, with the timestamp, so you'll see that there. All right, so let's get into your pile. Okay, and this is, like I said, it's going to be real good, you know, something you don't expect in love readings, all right? Because I have my little sacred box here for the blunt truth, okay? And let me lift this up just a little bit so we can see a little better. All right, for the blunt truth. But before we get into the blunt truth, I want to discuss this feather, okay? So the feather is pretty much telling me, like, I hear time and time again, chance after chance. So for some of you, you're feeling kind of tired, okay? That's the energy that I'm getting with this pile. You're feeling kind of tired, either of going in cycles, or it's just like a repeated phase that you keep going through when it comes to love. So you may feel like you're giving somebody a lot of chances to make things right, or you're going through some of the same things in a relationship, or it just feels like every time you do run into love, it's always the same thing where you get an ending, okay? So we're gonna get into that. Now, with you picking this feather, like I always say, this is not only a dancing bird, but it is a love bird that mates for life. Okay, so some of you may have a low tolerance for a lot of things just because you're expecting to mate with a person for life, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, and this is why you'll kind of feel like, oh, I've given this person chance after chance to get it right. Why won't they just get it right? Well, you have to also understand that you're a very serious person when it comes to love. Okay, so you have like an ancestor spirit behind you, and a lot of times this is the ancestors that come through us. Okay, you know, the ancestors will probably have a low tolerance, you know, for certain things that we deal with today. You know, the ghosting, not texting back, all of those things, you just have a very low tolerance for it. So that's just the spirit that you come with in a relationship, and a lot of people can't handle that. So it's like you may see a lot of immaturity when it comes to relationships because of this. Now, before we go any deeper, let's go ahead and get the juicy details. I don't know why I said that. I hate the word juicy. Okay, but yeah, let's get the, I don't know. I don't want to say mess. I don't know what I want to say. Let's just get the blunt truth. Let's call it that. The answer is like, let's just call it that. All right. So first off, let me roll the dice. Let's get the prescribed number that we're supposed to get out of this, because I'll be pulling forever. Okay, so they gave us a good number. They want me to get 5, okay? So let's pull out 5. Ancestors, what do you have to say to pile 1? What is that blunt truth that you want to give pile number 1? Ooh, I'm slightly excited. Okay. So this is the first one. Let's see what it's talking about. Be patient. Be patient. I don't know if I want to read as I'm going along or I'm going to wait to the end, but we'll see. But yeah. Okay, like I said, you have a low tolerance for a lot of things, so patience is probably something that you're gonna need. That the ancestors are saying, like, you may be a person, and I may have to, hold on guys. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I had to, you know, hit the blinds a little bit because that heat was simmering down on me. All right, so back to what I was saying with the be patient. You just have a very low tolerance of certain things, so I think that the ancestors just want you to have patience if you're with somebody. And also this could be related to singles as well, because they're saying be patient. But we're going to cover that in a minute. Let's go ahead and pull the other ones. Okay. Woo! And I ripped this one. Okay. I have to put this back together or some kind of way. I'll just remember what it is. But you got divine. Okay. Not divine timing. You got divine testing. Divine testing. Okay. Ancestors, what blunt truth you want to bring to this person about their love life? Stop waiting on us. I said what I said. Okay, stop waiting on us. So you got a real blood ancestor. All right, so that's 3. Get married. Okay, get married. All right. And again, you got the marriage bird. You picked the marriage bird, so that makes sense. All right, so let's see. Fast from sexual activity. Okay, so I'm gonna try to break these down like one by one as a collective. And I'm gonna also try to go in, I shouldn't have to do that, but I will try to go in and just do, you know, how it relates to singles and how it relates to relationships. So you'll just have to bear with me, okay? Now, with them saying fast from sexual activity, this means that a lot of times you feel like you sell yourself short, or you give a lot of your energy and you're not happy at the end of it. Does that make sense? Sometimes you just might do things sexually, or you might just be involved in something and it's just because you might want to keep the relationship, or you just, you know, I don't know how to explain that energy, but it's like, oh, okay, I'll just do it. But deep down inside, you're feeling something else. So when they're saying fast from sexual activity, it means that they want you to hone in on your power again, so that you can speak your truth. Until you have spoken your truth to whoever person that you're dealing with, you don't need to be, engaging in, sexual activities. I mean, foreplay is okay, but again, just reserve yourself for a little bit so that you can understand how you feel. Sexual energy is a very, very powerful energy. It's you merging with another person. I don't want to get into it too deep, but I just want to put that out there. Like, it's okay to just be like, even if you've been with somebody for 7 years, you can still fast for a couple of days because you feel like you're not being heard and just other things are going on around you. Now, if you're not having any sexual activity with this person, it just means that maybe emotionally you need to stop kind of being involved until you get whatever it is off your chest. Okay? Now, there is a message particularly for singles too. It says, stop waiting on us. I said what I said. So I said what I said. I was just being funny. But, stop waiting on us really was from the ancestors. What it means is basically you may be waiting for a person to come along, okay? You may be waiting for someone to come along. They're like, you don't need to wait. I hate to say go ahead and shoot your shot, but, go ahead and put yourself out there. Come out of your shell a little bit. you know, go ahead and start living life again. You don't need permission. And some of us too, like I said, and there's nothing wrong with certain realities that we live in or that we want for ourselves. But sometimes in this day and age, you know, interaction is just few and far between. A lot of people are meeting online nowadays. A lot of people are, you know, finding alternate ways or, you know, alternate way of meeting someone. So they're encouraging you to do that if you've been thinking about, like, dang, I haven't found nobody. You know, when is Spirit gonna send it to me? You could be that person, but they're saying, hey, you don't need to wait around, you know. Go ahead and start, you know, actively pursuing that if that's what you want, okay? Because maybe that partner's waiting on you, you know. Maybe they're in the right space at the right time, but you're in the house just expecting somebody to randomly show up at your door. So they want you to actively go out and, you know, engage in life. And as you engage in life, you do meet people. As you take trips and do different things, you do meet people. You also have divine testing, okay? So for those of you who are in relationships, this is going to come to an end, actually, because it tore up on me. It's going to come to an end, but this is a divine test to see if you guys will really last, because they're telling me marriage. Some of you are going to get married in this pile, okay? That's why they're saying they want you to have patience with your partner too, you know, because they want to see, can you really be together, or are you just going to split up like this piece of paper? So don't be surprised if you're going through some of the most craziest stuff right now in your relationship, because Spirit is really testing if this is going to work out or it's going to be a waste of time for you. You know, and you might even have asked for that as well too, is what I'm hearing. You asked for certain things to show their true colors. So it's like they're really showing you who this person is, and they want to see if it's going to work out. So they're observing things from a distance. So let's get some more information on this, which I can just read paper, but I don't want to do you like that. So let's go ahead and get some cards into this. Okay. Yeah. And some of you are kind of at that crossroads. Like, you don't know whether you want to move forward, stay where you are. Like, it's kind of like that, you know. But I see that at the turn of events, it seems like, you know, you want to make things work. For those of you who are in relationships, it's like you want to make things work. You want to overcome things. So for those of you who are going through a difficult time with a person, it's showing me that you're going to overcome things. There's a renewal here. I do see that there needs to be more balance when it comes to a relationship, because it feels like, you know, one partner has things together, but while they have things together, they also take on the weight of their partner and what they don't have together. So, because I'm seeing, you know, carrying two things at once. I already have their own responsibility, but also carrying other things. For some of you, you also may be helping someone with their child, if they have a child, or they're bringing a child into the relationship as well too. So I just see there's just a lot of responsibility, and there needs to be more balance with this. And I just think that you're losing your patience, so there needs to be a refresher. Yeah, there needs to be sacrifice. I see that the person that you're dealing with, if you're dealing with someone, I'll get to the singles in a minute. If you're dealing with someone, it's basically saying that this person does want to work it out, but you're at a point where you're so frustrated, it's like whatever they're doing is just not hitting for you like that. You're like, you know, how many more mistakes can they make? How many more mistakes can they try to fix? But Spirit is letting you know that marriage is not easy. So if you really want marriage, you're going to have to understand that it does come with a lot of turns. And a lot of people, you know, don't even know about those old marriages back in the day, you know. And I don't want to say it, but, you know, I'm going to say it. No disrespect to any of my elders, but I do remember, you know, grandparents sleeping in the other room. One sleeping in this room, one sleeping in that room, but they were still together, okay? And most of us know that about, you know, our elders. So it's like, but they still were together, okay? So marriage is very, very challenging. It's not as easy as people make it seem. And I do see that at this point, you're looking for a sacrifice. So I see that, you know, you're going to want this person to do more than the average thing in order to prove themselves. But again, have patience with this. That they're also letting me know that a relationship is a responsibility. You know, it's always great in the beginning. But I do see fulfillment here. But it's going to come from a renewal. You're going to have to stop holding on to so much anger. Okay? Whether you're more mature than the other person or not. You know, you're going to have to stop holding on to so much anger for this to come together like it should. Okay? Because some of you are exploring the options of walking away. You're like, well, I can just be independent. I can just do my own thing, you know? And Spirit is saying, yeah, you can. It's definitely possible. But whatever you invest in, they want to remind you is what you will get back. So they're showing that if you do try to stick it out a little longer, it's going to show a renewal, you know? They're also showing a child too. But hopefully, you know, it comes when you guys are more stable in a... well, I don't want to say more stable. Let's just say back to what you need to be. Now, let's go into singles, okay? And actually, I'm going to refresh this a little bit before we get into singles. And then I need to move on to the next pile, okay? So let's get... Spirit, can you give me just a few cards on singles in particular? Because that one clearly was just really related to relationships. So I just want... Ooh. So this card was actually for, you know, singles too. So they're saying that some of you have past relationships that you still think about. And you kind of like, okay, why didn't that work out? I gave my all. Why didn't this work out? Everything happens for a reason, okay? That's one thing you need to know. Everything happens for a reason. You're not with that person because you're not supposed to be with that person. They're also talking about some infidelity, or they're also talking about like knowing something was shady, knowing somebody was doing something outside of you, whether you can confirm it or not. They say you knew something wasn't right in that last situation, so you kind of saved yourself from further hurt, even if you got a little hurt in the process, okay? It's like you saved yourself from something bigger. And they're saying that you forget your power to manifest. You want things, but you forget your power to manifest. That's why they say stop waiting on us, because you have the power to bring this person in. Some of you are divine, you know, manifestors. Let's put it that way. You can bring in exactly who you want. You're not limited. They say you feel limited to options, like, oh, there ain't really nobody out there. They're saying no, there is, you know. You got to have that magnitude to bring it towards you, okay? Yes, there's a need to be patient for the right person, because again, the person that you want is going to bring you to marriage. It's going to be a mating for life. But at the same time, that don't mean avoid the crowds. That don't mean, you know, don't come in and, you know, have coffee or tea when somebody invites you. So don't be so introverted where you're not even coming in. They say this person will come. This person will come, okay? It seems like it's going to start off as a fling. But just, you know, go with the flow of things. Go with the flow of things. You're ready now. That's what they're telling me. You're more than ready. And there's a lot of lonely nights. So they're thinking that maybe, you know, you might need to make more of an effort to find someone. They say pay attention to the signs when it comes to karmic energy, because some people will just make you feel good in the moment. And I know that you're tired of this, but you have to use your energy of judgment and not your energy of just wanting to be with somebody, okay? Because you know the difference. So, yeah. They say this, you can actually avoid these players, these people that play with your energy, people that don't really want anything, male or female, does not matter. You can avoid this. They give the same old storyline every time. And it's like, you know, you can avoid this now. You're very mature for whatever age you are. Very, very mature. So you know the signs. Don't act like you don't know. Look, use your judgment. Move forward. All right, so let's go on to the next pile. All right, so for those of you who chose pile 2, this is your pile. I'm not going to try to be as long-winded with this pile, but let's get into it. So we're going to get the blunt truth for you. But the first thing we're going to start out with is the shell, okay? So the first thing, a couple things I was hearing, you actually got a divine sign. A divine sign is when an animal comes forth. And so the vulture was flying around in the background, so you know, I'm watching that. And I was thinking this pile was going to be the spiritual pile, but it looks like it is. So definitely a spiritual path for you guys too. But let's go into the love reading, right? We'll say that for another day. All right, so anyway, you chose the heart shell. So trust. So really enough, they're telling you to trust things. There's just a divine word of trust. Maybe you have lack of trust. Maybe you've lost a lot of trust with the person that you're dealing with. Maybe you don't trust that things will be the way that they should be and divine timing. But they're saying that there's a big word of trust. And I also hear with this pal, for those of you who are single more so, they're saying that people, you know, when they get around you, it's almost like they're intimidated or something like that. Like you have a vibe to you. You have a real like swag or a vibe, or you have something that people just be like, dang, you know. This person might be a little hard to impress. So I don't know what you think of yourself, but this is the energy that you give off. You know, you give off an energy of like, I don't know, it's like a secretive, like, I don't know how to explain that, you know, but it's nice. It's very, very nice. Put it that way. It's let's say attraction. There's an attraction to you. But people sometimes don't know how to approach you if you're single. If you're wondering why you're single, you know, people feel like, yeah, they got to come better than what they're giving, you know. So I feel like that's also a clue to open your heart a little bit. Like you might have to give somebody a hint that it's okay. So let's see how many I need to pull. We're going to pull something from the Blunt Truth. Okay, so they want me to pull 3. And I didn't put the ones from my last reading back in because I don't want me to run short. So anyway, so this is going to be the Blunt Truth from the ancestors about relationships and love for this pile. Let's see, 1, 2, and 3. So I already got 2. So let's go ahead and get the third one. And I'm not looking. Ooh, I didn't mean to put that out, but let's take it. Okay. All right, let's see. I always get excited for the Blunt Truth. Let's see what they got to say. Okay, so they're not playing with y'all. All right, so the ancestors are saying, why are you in this reading? We need to talk about other things. Okay, so basically that's why I said that. Did I not? I said I'm going to try to just ignore it. I'm going to say that for another reading. But they're like, no, you know. That vulture spirit was in the background for a reason. Like they're silently watching you, your spirit team. So they feel like you do concern a lot of other things, or that you just kind of, I don't know, it's just be a lot going on in your life. Like, you know, you may be a spiritual person too, but there's always something else going on. And there's a huge bird flying over now. I see the shadow of it. But yeah, it's always so much stuff going on. Love life, you know. Crazy things at work, you know, maybe career, business. There's always something going on, and they're like, they want you to focus on, you know, remember that they're in the background waiting on you to elevate. So we'll touch on that in a second, because I guess I have to at this point. Now let's get back to love. What you got on love, ancestors? Okay, that's why they came here. All right, you need to listen to your partner. What did I tell you? Trust was a big one for this pile. So they feel like a lot of things in this pile just deal with communication issues. Maybe you feel like you listened to your partner. Maybe you feel like you heard them out. But Spirit's saying that, you know, you probably need to just drop your emotions a little bit so that you can open your ears a little bit. And the vulture spirit is actually very silent. So they can hear things, you know. And I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say that they can... It's a sign, put it that way. It's a sign that you might need to quiet your voice so that you can hear. Now, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Oh, how many did you get? Okay. So you have, if they did it once, they will do it again. Ooh, okay, let's go here. And you know something? I get 2 things with this. There's a message for singles, and there's a message also for relationships. One is because that's why there's trust issues, because if this person has did something like abusive, even verbally abusive to you, it seems like it just keeps happening. Hopefully not physical abuse, but it's just something like they keep doing something again and again. And that's why you have major trust issues. Now for singles, it's kind of like a person is showing you signs early on that they want you to catch. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the last few that came up by surprise. Okay, so they're confirming it. It says don't settle. Okay, so that goes in with this message, don't settle. And we'll also touch on that for singles. Well, I'm sorry, relationships. But anyway, it says fix money issues, balance. Okay, so again, and I'm going to try to get to this too. There's just a lot to say because I guess I don't do love readings. But anyway, fix money issues. So they're saying that a part of the reason why you may have communication issues and trust issues and like you don't believe in your partner anymore because there's other things going on that's getting in the way of that. So if you had like good communication, you balance out your finances, you guys would hear each other clearly, okay? And this also just deals with what you need, okay? Is your partner giving you what you need? And they're saying don't settle if they're not. This doesn't mean that you have to leave them, but don't just say, okay, you know, I'm just going to close my heart off and just not deal with it. Don't avoid it if it's bothering you. And some of you who haven't gotten relationships yet, this is why. Because there's some other things that's going on in your life. Whether it's like money issues, you got spiritual things that you're supposed to be elevating in. There's other distractions that are going on that Spirit needs you to focus on first before you come into a relationship. Because you must have like a divine, you have a lot of things going on in your life. But, you know, there are certain things that a relationship may like interrupt this, you know, this divine thing that you got going on. But know that you're divinely guided though. It's not just for no reason. Like they're just trying to keep somebody out your life. It's not really that, more so than it is. It might be better for you to get this accomplished or do this than for you to have to worry about like heartache and all of these type of things, all these high emotions. That's for somebody single. So let's get into this. What other advice does Spirit have for you in love for singles and relationships? Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to be long-winded. All right. So, Spirit really, and this is really for like, you know, relationships and singles can do this, okay? So that you don't repeat the same cycles. They're talking about making like a vision board or some type of plan, okay? Present a plan to your partner, or your partner can do this with you. Because it feels like you want to know where this relationship is going. So it's like there needs to be a plan for the future, because I'm seeing some of you want marriage, some of you want kids. You want your life to progress. And it's like you just don't trust or believe that it's going to get there anymore with this person, or you're just not really too much in the belief of things. But, you know, that's why they want you to plan for what you want in the future, okay? I see somebody who truly cares about you. Now, for singles, there's also a message about somebody watching you, okay? That's why I said it may be hard to approach you, but there's somebody that's watching you that you need to tap into, okay? They're not saying nothing, but they're watching from a distance. That's also another message with that. Now, this is another pile, which I love when they say this, because it means that there's hope, you know, for those of you who are in relations. They're saying that nothing good comes easy, so everything will balance itself out eventually. Once you have a plan together, once things are more organized in your relationship, it's not just chaotic. Some of you might have just moved in with your partner, or you've been living with your partner, and it's like it's just not, you know, what you thought it was, or you might have two different mindsets about finances, about how things are supposed to go. So they're saying that, again, it takes time to balance these things out. The Spirit's talking about waiting, okay? And if you've been wanting to bring a child into this world, there might be, if you're already pregnant, then it is there, right? No turning back, no regrets. It's just if you're thinking about getting pregnant or having a baby, This is one of the reasons that they might want you to be a little patient so things can balance themselves out financially to where you could take care of the child, and you're also seeing eye to eye. I also feel like there's been other things, but Spirit has really been keeping this relationship together. You know, even though things are trying to fall over, Spirit has been helping you to keep things centered. But I see that this person cares. I'm going to get a message for singles, and then I'm going to go to the next reading. Like, I see somebody financially there, like they have the mind for what they want, they have the better planning, and that's just something that you're very skilled with. The other person cares a lot, but they may not be, I don't know, business savvy, should I say, or something like that. But it's like, it's okay, you know. You just have to teach that person, you know, what they need to do. You don't have to settle for whatever you think that your life has to be with that person. You can always reintroduce things into a relationship. And again, let's move over to my singles. Don't settle, you know. If you are in a toxic relationship, don't settle, okay? They really want me to stress that. Don't settle. There'll be more fish in the sea. You don't have to just be like, okay, this is just it. I don't hate when it's coming out like that. Opportunities. They say some of you may try to rush into things, but don't do this. Don't do this even if you see other people with the lavish life and, you know, they're all happy in marriages or whatever. Don't rush into anything. Spirit's going to give you exactly what it is that you want. But make sure that you're present with Spirit, okay? What I mean by this is make sure that you're connecting to nature and things like that. Like, things will come to you. And like I said, it's really, you know, I feel like for this power, it's going to be sooner than you think. If you're single and you're waiting on somebody to come in your life, it's going to be a lot sooner than you think because there's somebody watching. And I don't know, it feels like you might have to make the first move. But right now, you're really getting yourself together, see? There's going to be a union in this power, too, that's going to come to be. So if you've been feeling iffy about a person, move on, because there's some red flags about somebody. So there's like 3 different messages here. It's somebody that's dealing with somebody toxic and they need to move on. If you're in a relationship, they're speaking about, you know, divine communication needs to be better to fix the relationship. If you're waiting on somebody, Spirit is saying that basically you're not going to be waiting forever because there's somebody in the background. They're waiting. Like, they're waiting, I guess, for you to make a move or to let them know that it's okay. All right, so that is pile 2. Let's go on to pile number 3. All right, so for pile number 3, let's jump right into it because I get some messages. There's this song by Elder Barge, like, All This Love Is Waiting For You. You might want to listen to that because they're basically telling me history. Like, there's something that you need to go back to with a person. There's some history that needs to be looked into or something like that. Maybe if you're single, it might be somebody from the past, like you've had a whole old friendship with, that you would do really good with in a relationship. And for some of you that are already in relationships, they're talking about revisit the history of your relationship and how you overcome so many things. And this person, you know, may have found you when you were at your lowest or when you were, you know, up and coming, you know, and it really molded you. It's not to say you got to be with somebody forever and ever and ever, but it's like, look at the history before you just let anything go. Because there's something there about that, okay? Now, you chose the indigenous spirit bag. So this symbol comes from the Luba tribe. And it means a lot because it represents divine masculine and divine feminine. No matter, you know, whether you're male, female, no matter who you choose to date, it's just a symbol of union. And normally this symbol it's actually a headrest. It's given to a tribal member when they are, you know, about to be married, you know. So it's like a wedding gift, all right? So, and I feel like that's a message to you. This is a wedding gift, especially those of you who are in relationships. And I feel like even if, you know, nobody gave you credit or something like that, I don't know how to put that, but it's like if nobody gave you credit for how much energy that you put into this relationship, this is your credit. Like, it's, you know, it's hard to keep something together after a very long time. So this is some credit being given to you. Now let's get some blunt truth. Oh, let me roll the dice on that. Hold on. 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So this is blunt truth from your ancestors. Let's see what they got to say. Try dating, try courting. Okay, so this is from some of your older ancestors. They're saying that in order to restore things, you need to try to date again. You need to try to court your partner again. Things can become pretty stale. You know, when you're doing the same thing over and over again. Date this person like from the day that you met them. You know, have that same excitement for that person again, and it can be done. But you need to try to put some of that energy back on, you know. Do something nice for your partner. If Valentine's Day and you're watching this, or if it's coming up, do something special for that person to remind them of how much that you love them. There needs to be some restoring of love here. And now if you are single, it's saying that, you know, when you find this divine partner, it's going to be through dating or courting. Get used to dating again. Maybe you haven't been out on the scene for a long time. Spirit is saying now is the time to get back out on the scene. There's people out there for you. I don't say people, but, you know, whatever you like. All right, so let's go to the next one. It says, keep others out of your relationship. So that's why I had to tell you that, you know, if you didn't get credit, because I was thinking about family. I'm like, I feel like they might not have gotten the credit that they need for the type of partner that they're with or how much they've been through. They're saying that you need to keep other people out of your relationship, whether this is friends or family. It's not to say you shouldn't get an opinion when you really need it, but be cautious about what you talk about your partner or what you say about your partner to other people, because they're wishing negative energy onto this relationship. You know, and even if you speak good, I'm hearing, even if you speak good about a person, they might be like, oh, hating and still sending you negative energy. So refrain from doing that, okay? Refrain from speaking about your partner so much. Nothing wrong with it. Just refrain from it, because until you figure out who is, you know, giving you that snake energy. Ashe. They say get over the past. Get over the past. So this means that because you might have a history with this person, there might have been some times where this person has really hurt you, you know, and it's okay. You know, when you're with somebody for a long time, even, you know, brothers and sisters and sisters and sisters, even family, we've dealt with over the years, and we've gotten over some of the most traumatic stuff that they've done. So understand that, you know, it's not to say be with somebody that's gonna beat you down, nothing like that. It's to say that as you go through a course of a relationship, there's gonna be big, major moments, make or break moments. And some of us get past those moments, but we hold on to those memories. And that can make our relationship very stale. It can make things very dry. We don't feel as in love as we used to be. You know, we're very defensive, like the mockingbird popping up right now. Very defensive, very aggressive to our partners because of the hurt and pain that we felt. So some of you might even need some therapy, or just some counseling, maybe even a reading. You know, get something to where you can kind of heal that past or address it, and really just talk to your partner about it. But don't keep holding on to pain that you've said that you've released and you haven't released, because you're carrying that. And they show me a divine union. A divine union. So some of you were put with this person for a reason. Now for singles, they're saying that somebody's going to help you out of some type of situation. That's why it comes off to me like an old friend. Or this person's going to feel like an old friend that's going to come along for you. Because with that song showing up, it's like you've had some problems and nobody can seem to solve them. But you found the answer, you know. You told me to take this chance and learn the ways of love. So this is going to, like, for some of you in this pile, this is going to be your first official love. Like, you know, It doesn't matter how old you are. It just feels like, you know, this is going to be one of them loves that just really, really, you're going to feel a soul connection to. They're going to balance out, you know, that other half of you. And that's what that symbol's about. Balancing out that other part of you. They say that some people have hurt you in the past, so you may not feel like you can love again. That's why they're saying you got to get over the past. Date again. They're saying this mainly to the singles. Get over the past, date again. And don't tell Keisha or Day Day, don't tell the person who you dating, you know? Because I feel like somebody tried to move in on somebody that you were dating in the past. Like you might have had a thing with them, and you might have had a friend that, you know, either so-called took the person from you, or after you were done with them, they got with them. Like some weird stuff like that. So they're basically saying, keep people out your relationship. Keep people out of what you got going on this time around. Let me shuffle this again. All right, Spirit, what other advice do you want to give them for the blunt truth? There's some divine change that's coming in. Spirit's bringing some divine change in your love life. If you're in a relationship, it may feel like you're going in two different directions at times, but there's still love there. So they're saying that, again, sometimes you may have to take some time off of work to spend time with your partner. Does that make sense? Because it feels like somebody's working on themselves, and this could be both of you. You could be working on your careers or whatever it is, but take some time off to focus on your relationship a little bit, okay? Because they're saying this person can still be the one for you, you know? They can still be. You don't, it's not, you know, an ending to this, you know? I still feel you're going to be very spiritually connected. Yeah, that's where all the arguments are coming from. There's not, like, you feel like you're not seeing eye to eye, like you're in two different worlds, and it's okay, you know, but you got to bring it back, right? Work some things out. Let's get a few more cards, and then we're going to leave it there. See, this is so funny because it says King of Wands, but this is actually a queen that was balanced, you know. So she was able to rule, you know, like a king. And it speaks about that with that symbol, like the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies coming into balance, okay? And I feel like there might be a thing with that, needing to balance out those energies in both of you and what you're bringing to the table. I don't know how that goes, that folds with you. You'll know it when you hear it, but it's something about balancing out the masculine and the feminine energies. We all have them, no matter what we identify as. We all have both energies working in us, okay? Some people are more emotional. Some people are more just, you know, nonchalant and just workaholic. So they're speaking on like working those energies out. And Spirit says, like, you may want to do for my magician, you may want to do some love magic. And this is not to spell somebody. This means to open up communication. You could do it for that. You can also do it to bring some passion back to the relationship, you know. And you can do this with just putting on some smell goods. Like, you know, people don't even understand that's magic that they sell us at the store. So it's not that deep. You know, you can do simple things. And you can even use aromatherapy in your home. Like, do other things, you know. Sometimes this person doesn't know how to be romantic, is what I'm saying. Sometimes this person doesn't know how to be romantic, so they look kind of foolish. But as they try to impress you, so kind of give them some hints about what they can do. And also open up communication. I keep getting this card all throughout the reading. Lord have mercy. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like you can't get in this person's head anymore, but they're saying there's going to be a renewal. It's like an avoidance of this renewal, but there's going to be a renewal. And this person is still going to be there for you. Now let's get one more message for singles. For some of you that are single, some of you need to come out of depression, okay? Again, let go of the past of people who've hurt you, because this feels even deeper than just relationships. There might be some trauma from the past that needs to be healed. And it's like you just reminisce on one good time in your life. There's going to be many more. Even in relationships, there's going to be many more. Like, are you ready for that? This is why you may be drawn to a lot of toxic people, or you may get with people that are only fulfilling for you for the moment. You know, yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, they only fulfill you for the moment. They take advantage of you, things like that. You got to be whole with yourself, okay? So make sure that you work on your spiritual energy and feeling whole as far as like depression and things like that. So that way you come into the relationship whole and you're not looking for something. Because when you're looking for something, you always gonna have somebody that's ready to prey, you know, on what you're lacking, and you don't want that. So this new relationship will be the one, you know, that's gonna be like, ooh, you know, that's what I'm looking for. All right, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Make sure that you like and subscribe and comment, and peace.